Who do you want to be for you?
For me, all right. So my name's Jacob. I'm in the army currently. Barely.
So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, like where you're from, what your family was like growing up.
Yeah, sure. So my dad, he's in the military himself. Well, he was. He's retired now. So I grew up uh around Fort Campbell area, which is an army base that's on the border between Clarksville, Tennessee, and Kentucky. And I grew up on the Tennessee side of things. And I mean, for the most part, I had a pretty good childhood, but growing
What's
up,
pretty good?
the good aspects of it, my dad, he was absolutely amazing. Like he tried to be the best dad he could, and he gave us everything that he didn't have as a kid, and I have the utmost respect for him for doing that. He just made sure that my needs are met, my mom's needs are met, my sister and their needs are met. He's just absolutely phenomenal dad, but obviously he was in the war and he has his own problems and whatnot. Sometimes they kind of got out of control and, he'd lash out. We'd just be sitting at the dinner table one night and he'll just go berserk and just start throwing stuff and screaming. And we're just having a normal conversation. I guess those things kind of had somewhat of an impact on me growing up. But for the most part, I mean, he was just absolutely phenomenal dad. And my mom, she was great, she's loving, caring, everything you could ask for out of a mom. So
And you have siblings, right?
yeah, so I have three siblings.
So did y'all grow up on the lower income level, or would you say like middle class, or for being in that Tennessee area?
At the time, I want to say between the ages of like just being born and until I was like 6 years old. It was definitely on the lower income side of things because my mom, she didn't have a job at the time. And my dad, he was a staff sergeant in the army. So the money, I mean, we weren't making bank or nothing, but we were getting by all right.
Yeah, that is a cheaper area of Tennessee, at least back then. But what are some of the goals you have in life?
That's a great question, That's a really good question. I don't think about that enough. Definitely just to be able to take care of myself and hopefully in the future take care of my family because my mom and dad, they're getting older. So I'd love to be able to retire them, make sure their needs are met and everything. And a big dream of mine that I've always had as a kid was just be just like my dad, That's why I joined the army and went down this route of things.
And you said he retired from the army, right?
So he got out in 2006. So I was still pretty young at the time, 2006, 2007. At the time when he got out, like my mom, she had to go pick up a job because my dad, he wanted to go back to school and he was going to school and he was going to work at the factory too, which so what a lot of money wasn't being brought in at the time, so we had to make do what we had.
Was that your plan when you joined? Was to follow in your dad's footsteps and do your 20 years and retire?
Yeah, so I wanted to be just like my dad. Like everything that he did in his career, I want to be just like him because that's how much like admiration I have for him. So I want to do my 20 years. I want to retire. I want to go see combat. I want to have all these cool stories that he has to tell.
Did he struggle with alcohol or anything of that nature?
No, his
Not at
dad was
all.
his dad was a really bad alcoholic, so he didn't want to be like his dad. So he never, at least he didn't bring it around us. As far as I know, he didn't drink.
Before we get too far here, what year did you join the military?
So that would have been 2024, April 2024.
Well, when did you start drinking in that area? I know we started, having drinks at bonfires and parties and fields when we were 14 years old. I remember um, as young as 5, 6 years old of, grandpa giving you a little sip of his beer, things like that.
So the first time I ever actually tried alcohol, I was at my friend's house, and her mom, I mean, sorry, his mom, she was pretty heavy on the alcohol. And I remember we got into some of her, I don't even remember what kind of drink it was. And I remember tasting it for the first time and I hated it. It tasted like I was drinking straight gasoline. I was like, this is disgusting. Why would anybody do this? That was my very first experience with it. And I didn't try it again until I was probably about 15 or 16. And believe it or not, I was working at McDonald's at the time, and some drunk college kids came through the drive-through, and they had some alcohol in a cup, and they're like, "Hey man, you gotta try some of this." And I was like, "What's in it?" And being a stupid kid, I wanted to fit in, look cool. I was like, "All right, give it to me." So I was drinking alcohol through the window of McDonald's, and I remember at the time too, I was like, "Man, this tastes horrible. Why would anybody drink this stuff?"
What you were asking about when you started noticing it was an
Oh
issue.
yeah, when did you start noticing your drinking became an issue?
I want to say, and I think James, I talked to you about this, but I was living at the time. I was in a serious relationship, and I was working this dead end job that I hated. And I remember just like trying it again, because sometimes like my girlfriend's mom, she bring home like Coronas or whatever. So I
Which
was like, out of boredom, I kind of drink one every now and again, and I kind of like the effects of it. So when life started getting harder, when I started getting behind on bills, and when stuff wasn't working out at my work or whatever, I just having a bad day, I started just drinking more and more, and I was like, man, this is helping with my problems, and just spiraled out of control.
Or perceived to be is helping, huh?
yeah,
Maybe not really helping, but you were escaping those issues in that time frame.
Yeah, yeah.
How old would you say you were then when you started drinking more heavily? We ain't the
21,
cops.
22.
We ain't the cops. Don't care if you're illegal or not.
Yeah,
But you're
about,
around 21, 22. But
about
you
21,
drank before
22.
that,
I dabbled with it, but I never really liked
but
it.
not an issue. Not like,
No,
oh, I've got to have a drink. And
no,
yeah,
nothing like that.
I think as they say when you have the problem when you're doing that stuff by yourself with
hmm
no plans, huh? Just like drinking, like an alcoholic, is the one who sits in their room and drinks by themselves all the time until they're drunk. Not just having a beer after work or something, but sit there and get drunk in their room. But so to your knowledge, I know you said your dad had no alcohol issues. What about your mom or your siblings?
Yeah, believe it or not, my oldest sister, she went down that path. She's currently still heavily into drug use and alcohol abuse and whatnot. So, but that's pretty much it. Just my oldest sister and my brother. He's drank and stuff. He didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, so yeah, one sibling who kind of it became a big issue. Is it just alcohol and drugs, and
Mostly
or
just
just
drugs.
a lot of drug use?
A lot of drugs.
I've got a sister like that too myself. That's one thing when I was a kid, seeing that, I was always like, yeah, I never want to get involved in anything like that. Of course, stuff happens over time, but
Um, you said you can't keep living like this. Can't you? Can you try to keep going on with that again?
I guess when I really started to realize it was a big problem and like nothing's good coming out of this was I want to say about about the same time that me and James we had a little Nashville trip where we were out partying and stuff. It was like partying once in a while is not that bad of a thing to do, but when you come back from after partying and all you're doing is drinking like you did when you were partying every day, something's wrong.
so
I just
you're
want
still still trying to chase that escapism from a night out, like one night out.
Yeah, I was still chasing
Nice.
that high, that buzz, wanted to keep going. I didn't want it to end. So I kept trying to recreate that feeling of being out, and it's how good I felt. I felt like I was on top of the world, I felt so good. And I just kept doing it. And I was for a while I was feeling great. I didn't want to stop, I loved it. I was going out to strip clubs, every chance I got. I was getting further and further into the credit card debt. And I think that was the first big problem that started happening was my finances. I started to
Mm.
get financially into so much debt. And every time I got paid, I'd go back out and spend it on alcohol and strippers. And
So how much? credit card debt do you think you got into during that period? I know we talked about it before, but
So I managed to get into about $4,000 worth of debt. Not nothing
and
too significant, but
how short of a time do you think that was?
oof. Couple months, 2, 3
Yeah,
months. Yeah.
Right. What are you see? We talk about escapism. You're trying to essentially numb out all that pain. Like what is the pain you're trying to escape from? Like what's the reality you're trying to escape? Have you pinpointed that yet?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm still trying to figure that out because I don't know. I don't know what I'm really running from. Maybe there's some things that happened in my childhood that I'm trying to get away from. I don't know. I haven't really. I haven't had the courage to dive that far back and really examine myself like that.
That's when we get to that point of wanting to figure it out when you start drinking. And yeah, that's the bad thing about it. Once you like start stepping back and really diving deep, is you'll find some stuff there that ain't nice, and
Yeah.
it'll hurt for a while.
the natural thing is probably block it all out
Yeah.
one way or another, whether
So
that's
yeah.
substances or your brain's pretty strong at doing that on its own.
So are you going to try and completely cut it out, or are you going to try and just
Yeah.
back off? You want to completely go dry with it?
It's got to go. It's got to go.
When are you starting that?
Well, I was trying to start it a couple weeks ago, but I was
Sorry, man. Hey, look before you. We all fall off the wagon. You gotta get back on. That's all it is.
yeah,
It's not a cold turkey all the time. It's just as long as you keep pushing towards that goal, you'll get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had made a decision a few weeks ago to completely stop, and I was doing good for about 2 weeks, which was the longest I've gone in months without a drink of alcohol.
Since you joined the military, how often do you think you drink?
So when I got out of, obviously you can't drink when you're going through basic training. So when I got out of basic training, I think I started going crazy with it. Started drinking a lot. It started off, like a couple beers after I got out of basic, and then just kept getting worse and worse. Um, but it was probably to the point for a long time that I was drinking maybe 10 to 20 drinks a night for months.
Basically,
Yeah.
blackout, as they call it. Right.
What about over the last?
Yeah, I drank until I couldn't drink anymore.
Yeah.
What about over the last, say, month? How often would you say
The
you drink?
last, yeah. So my tolerance had built up pretty good. So I was probably drinking 25, maybe 30 drinks a night sometimes.
And
It
it's
was
still nightly, or would you say is every other night, or
No, it was nightly. It was every chance I had the money and the
and
time, I do it.
it gets pretty expensive, don't it?
It does.
So what are you? It's not like I said. It's not something easy to do, right? So especially. I mean, right now it's kind of tough with your situation. But what do you plan on doing to keep your mind off of it, to avoid getting sucked back into it?
I've been building a lot more healthier habits, like fishing is a big one
Yeah.
for me. I've invested in some fishing gear and I've been out trying to catch some fish. Um, Another big one was motorcycle riding and like working on motorcycles, but I don't got my bike with me right now, so I can't do that one. So I've had to find other means such as fishing and working out.
Yeah. I say working out's a good one. I've been going to the gym myself, and it's a good one.
Do you think your drinking has increased since being in the military, or is it about the same?
Definitely increased
Yeah.
significantly. So anytime I had like a stressful day or something bad happen at work, which was pretty much every day in the military, I'd definitely resort to drinking as a solution. So
And you
yeah.
said it's picked up since you've been in the military.
Oh yeah, big time.
Is it is it just because it's a stressful atmosphere you're in, or what?
Or does
Uh
it have to do with the climate of the military kind of pushes things like drinking?
Combination of both. It's definitely a combination of both. It's just a stressful career to have. It's stressful being away from family and being surrounded by people who drink all the time is definitely. Not a very good combination.
Yeah,
Makes it tough.
it's pretty rampant in the military.
Do you think if it, I don't know if I'm asked, I guess I'm asked this, but do you think if it's something you realize, like maybe the military is causing too much of your drinking, if you take this really seriously, you'd have to like separate from the military in the future or something like that?
I've thought about that, but I'm
Yeah,
hoping that's what it has to come to. Hopefully, I'm able to find the strength within myself to quit, even though I'm surrounded by those situations.
yeah, that's tough because everybody around you, like I said, is doing it. It's like, man, I can just go get one. They're offering it to me left and right.
Yeah,
It's tough. I think I challenge you to really to do a lot of soul searching, as they call it. That's what helped me a lot. Just like I said, look back, dig down to what you're really trying to escape. What's triggering it? Journal it, write it. I mean, heck, get a notebook out, and you got plenty of time now, right? Just
yeah,
journal. I mean, just write about things you might. I don't know. It just things start coming out. So do a voice recording, something. It really helps. I don't know, just kind of meditate on it. I guess you call it. I think that'll really help you because if you find out the core of the problem, that's when you can start fixing all the other symptoms along with it, right? That's what I found at least. I'm like, yeah, I drank. You can't just quit drinking and just try to forget about it. It's like, no, something's causing it. That's just reaction to something. So that's what my therapist had taught me was, action, then you create emotions around it and you react to it. So I was numbing out something and it was just a lot of stuff from my childhood. And it took me a year in a professional setting to really piece it apart and to make that journey.
yeah.
Do you have access to therapies and such while you're in the military?
I do, but they're military, they're military therapists and whatnot. So I don't know if that's the best out there, but
Well, hey, I mean, at least they got a degree. We don't have nothing.
It's worth a shot.
It's worth
yeah,
a
but
shot. I mean, to go try.
And sometimes you can get um, community care, so you can be referred to off post care. A lot of
Yeah,
times, if you just tell them like, "Hey, I'm not comfortable going to somebody on post," they can put you in a community care off post.
try out a few things and see what works best for you. Because trust me, it's not an easy path to walk alone. So having somebody that's professionally trained to help walk you through that, it helps out a lot. Trust me, it did for me.
What do you think was the lowest point of this addiction? Kind of a quick and dirty of everything that's happened and how it's kind of made you feel. And
yeah. So recently, man, I got caught up in aiding and abetting a DUI charge, which put my career at jeopardy. Um, doesn't feel too great, obviously. Having the potential to lose your job because I worked so hard, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into where I'm at right now, and for that all be thrown away for such a silly charge, relating to alcohol, it doesn't feel too great. And that was the first big uh, problem I ran into in the army because up until that point, they've kind of warned me and stuff about the alcoholism, but it hadn't been to the point where I could potentially be getting kicked out of the army for it. And I, after that, I was like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm done drinking. And I had stopped for, like I said, 2 weeks. I had stopped drinking completely. And the other night, somebody had a sign in the elevator saying, "Hey, we're having an Ozzy Osbourne party on the fifth floor." And my dumb self wants to go check it out. And at first, I didn't have any intentions of drinking, but I get up there to go check it out, and they're like, "Hey, man, grab you a beer." So I'm like, really shouldn't, but
Mhm.
man, what's one beer gonna hurt, right?
Yep, one turns into 30, huh?
yeah,
So so that was probably the biggest regret that I have currently is just not having that strength to say no. Just saying to myself, you know what, what's one beer gonna hurt? The next thing I know, I'm running from the cops, hiding out in the woods. The
Do you, do you do you think you deserve a better life? I don't
No,
mean to say better. I meant like, you know what I mean, right? Like, you think you deserve a life without alcohol and at peace
to
and
yourself,
to yourself.
not to everybody else, but to
Yeah.
you? Or do you think that maybe you're punishing yourself because you don't necessarily think that you deserve anything better?
well, I I don't know. That's a tough cookie to crack right there. Uh, honestly, like from what I've showed so far in my life, I don't think I deserve anything better because I've made these choices. I No one held a gun to my head and told me to go drink alcohol or go be a piece of crap human being. I've made those choices, and I think to some degree I should be punished for it. Maybe this is my way of punishing myself. I don't know.
Under punishment for that one act you did.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
think you can just drop the bags and say no, no more, and move on with a different life?
If I can find some way of forgiving myself, then yeah. But
Yeah, it's probably the way a lot of men think, honestly.
Do you want a better life?
yeah, of course I want one. Sure.
What's a great life look like to you?
Great life.
Well, what's the definition of happiness to you? Like, what would your average day look like?
I guess like my ideal like life that I want to have. I want to have my own family. I want to have my own kids. I don't want to be addicted to anything. I want to be able to provide. I want to be the man that I'm supposed to be. You know.
Yeah, you just want to be a family man, huh?
Yeah, man. I want my own family, dude. I want my own family. I want to be able to take care of everybody that needs it. Not have to worry about me or nothing like that.
Who do you want to be for you?
For me, I don't know.
Question got me too back in the day.
uh,
You want to be for you?
I guess I just don't want to be addicted to anything. No vices. I don't want to have any vices in my life. I just want to be able to do things that I want to do, whether that be like fishing or working out, going to church.
Enjoy life pretty much, and not have to numb your way through it.
Yeah,
Get
just
through
be
it.
able to enjoy the little things in life.
Well, it's good you're starting now. I didn't start till after I had a kid. So, you know, it's a lot different when you got a 4 month, 2 month old screaming at you at the same time. Yeah, it's another game. But yeah, it's a good thing you're starting now. If a lot of younger kids would see it now, man, it would. I wish I could grab them by the throat and just shake their head and just tell them, please do it. Trust me,
Yeah,
man. I wish I'd have started because it was 3 or 4 years into our marriage before I started really looking at myself and doing the same thing I'm asking you, and I just feel like I lost that time. Like me and my wife didn't have that time together because we were both in our own post traumatic phases, whatever you want to call it. We just didn't realize it. We were just skating through life.
yeah.
Um, do you have a girlfriend or anything right now?
Nah, not at the moment.
Not that girl whose toes you were sucking on.
No, sir. Definitely not her.
Yeah,
Oh man.
alcohol made them toes taste better, didn't it?
I
Hmm.
sure did, man.
Do you have somebody really close to you you can just call it in time of the day to just to chat? And you're like you got the urge to go get a drink or something like that. You just
Yeah.
need somebody to call.
Just somebody to hold you
Yeah.
accountable.
Yeah, somebody to hold you accountable and just really cheer you on to fight it.
I do. Our medic, actually, our platoon medic, he's done so much for me, man. Every time I've gotten into a bad situation, at a drop of the hat, he'll show up and help you out, and he's there for me to call him whenever.
Because that
Really good.
definitely plays a big role in this journey.
Yeah, he's a really good
Luckily, I had
dude.
my wife to lean on and stuff like that. So
If
Yeah.
if your drinking wasn't an issue, I know you're early on in your military career here, but if drinking wasn't an issue, do you think it still would have been better right now for your career? Because I've got to think that your chain of command, they probably lost a lot of trust in you already. You know, you're a fresh soldier, new unit. They, so everybody else that hasn't had those issues are going to have a leg up now. So how do you think it would have been different if maybe you wouldn't be locked down in a room, somebody sitting outside your door, huh?
Well, I'd like to think I'd be in Ranger School right now. You know,
Yeah,
I had so many dreams and aspirations, man, and alcohol took it all away from me.
it's probably going to take you a little ways to build that trust up again. So
Yeah,
for them to actually want to send you to schools, because schools are really a privilege in the military. So
Ultimately, you got to believe it for yourself too, that you're capable and worthy of doing something like that, and have the discipline to go to make it there.
yeah.
So, but you're definitely in the first steps of doing that. So I think that's awesome. I think you'll make it there if you keep trying.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that.
besides the videos, what else do you think made you want to reach out to talk to someone? And what about the videos made you want to reach out and talk and kind of reconsider life as where you're at right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess all of our lives we've been told, talking about our uh mental health is not manly, it's weak, and you should just keep that to yourself and just bottle it up inside, and just not talk about it. So seeing y'all's videos, man, and y'all open it up and y'all putting y'all selves out there has really, giving me courage to, actually reach out and talk to somebody about it, man. It's actually been a huge help because if I would have just kept this all inside me, I probably would have just drank myself to death, man. I had to do something about it.
That's awesome. I'm glad we did that for you.
That is
Yeah.
the whole purpose of this thing. As long as we could at least reach one person,
Yeah,
call it a success at that point.
Guess it's just like putting my ego aside, man, and just like,
that's a
look,
big one.
yeah,
A very big one for a man to go. You know what? I gotta open my book and just let somebody else read it. It's let them see all the ugly parts and bits and pieces, and try to figure out how to put it all back together.
yeah,
But in the end, I think this is all. It's just going to make you stronger. More of a man. I think. I feel like it's done it for me. I'm
And
way more the man and dad and husband I've ever thought I could be.
that's really what makes somebody manly. Being able to face things like that, and not keep everything bottled up. Like now, somebody who can and they look at all that stuff inside themselves and say, "Hey, I got a problem. I need to talk to somebody and fix this." Or like, I'm not afraid of putting everything out there.
It's the same as you got to have a problem with your car. You can't figure it out. Like something's wrong. Something's wrong. You take it to the mechanic, right?
and I got a broken down car too, so.
And
Maybe you should
And
take
you
it
know
to the
what? I
mechanic.
could have had my car fixed by now if I didn't have this problem.
oh, so this
Spending
is
a lot of money on it.
because you didn't have the
Yeah.
money to pay your mechanic, or what's the?
Uh, yeah, man. All my money was tied up in strippers and alcohol, pretty much.
They didn't give you a ride home at least. Jeez,
Strippers and alcohol. That's the private 401k plan right there.
man.
It's not a pretty road to go down.
Seemed like at the time though, huh?
Yeah, at the time you're loving it. When you're in the moment, it's the best feeling in the world. And then you come down off it, it's like, man, did I really just spend all this money and do all this stupid stuff I just did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to ask us or mention or pick our brains on? Or
I guess like how far along are y'all in y'all's journey? Like, how'd y'all overcome these obstacles, addictions or whatever it may be?
for me, it was finding out my why. Like, why am I doing this? Like I just told you. For me, it was I saw myself as repeating the process, like my dad did. He was abusive alcoholic and stuff, and messed with drugs. Not that hardcore. Well, he was younger, I think he did, but he still, I don't want to go too deep into it, but out of respect for him. But yeah, I guess when I finally had my son, like I was numb to him, man. I couldn't feel nothing. Like it was to the point I asked my wife for a paternity test. Like this ain't my kid. Like I just don't feel nothing. You know when you hold a baby and you're supposed to just feel this warm feeling inside, you know? I didn't feel that. And I asked her for a paternity test and that ooh, she goes, all right, fine. I'll do a paternity test, but you're going to therapy after this. I was like,
Mm.
all right, done deal. I'm about to bounce, you know. And sure enough, it was 99.96% my kids. So I knew then I was like, yeah, something ain't right. And that's when I went to a therapist and started on medication. I'm still on medication this day. I've noticed a big difference with that. Um, and I found a therapist I really liked and was talking to her. And I think I did that for the only reason I quit because I moved out of state. But once I get my next health insurance for my new job, I'll be going back. But yeah, I just found my why, man. For me, I just wanted to be present for my kids. I just remember alcohol never did anything good for me growing up. So I wanted my kid to have a better childhood than I did. You know,
Yeah.
dad. That's pretty much for it for me.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. You just, I think it's what it is for everyone. Finding that reason why you're not gonna quit anything if you don't have that reason why.
Having somebody to hold you accountable, and like I mentioned in our video that's about to come out, is breaking that cycle. Like if you when you get the urge, you just even if you still drink once or twice or something like just put it off a little while and try to do something productive for a minute. You know, just you got to break that cycle. Tell yourself you don't need it, and remind yourself why you're trying to quit. You know, just keep coaching yourself, basically. You know,
And as you know, for me, I haven't been sober for 3 years because we went downtown. So, and it's kind of the same thing where you're just going out there and you feel like that's the only way where you can enjoy yourself. And it was kind of realizing that you don't have to have that to enjoy life. And for me, it was trying to rebuild that relationship with my daughter. And it's really like it's hard to rebuild a relationship with a child and have that relationship a healthy one and still be like an alcoholic. And I think me personally, drinking in general, like, I know some people can drink and do it in a say healthy way, but do it in a controlled way where they're not getting drunk every time they touch a bottle or something. But the family I came from couldn't do that. So like when I was probably 6, 7 years old, I was in the single cab square body Chevrolet. I don't remember much about my childhood, but I remember that. But I was sitting in the middle seat because, of course, it was a bench seat. My mom was on the passenger side. My dad and his brother were out in front of it arguing when my uncle grabbed a cinder block and threw it through the windshield. Of course, they were both drunk.
Yeah.
They threw it right through the center of the windshield, and I was 6, 7 years old at that point. And that's kind of moments like that. There were several from my childhood like that. That's what I think of when I think of drinking, and when I see my daughter, I just, oh yeah,
makes you sick to your stomach.
I, I know I've never once done anything like that before in my life, no matter how drunk I got. But it's just when I just associate that with getting drunk now. I, and before I didn't. It's kind of where my why came from to get away from things like that and that type of lifestyle. And, you know, I think your fishing would be good. I think if you get your motorcycle back out there, probably be good also. And the main thing is surrounding yourself with like minded people.
Trying to find somebody going through the same challenges and taking the same road.
That's the biggest one. Find those like minded people. It's
Yeah.
hard to.
So for you, you don't have your family yet. So what you probably could do, honestly, I don't know if this sounds funny or not, but like draw a picture of a family or something, or print out a picture of a happy family, put it on your door or something. You know, that way when you walk out, you can see that right before you go do something stupid. You look at that and go, "No, I'm gonna do something different," because that's my goal there. I think that would help you.
Yeah, it's actually a
Something,
great idea. Yeah,
you know, something, some visual reminder of like, hey, by the way, no, I'll do that. Like, no,
yeah,
this is the goal. So some kind of reminder. Heck, even put a screensaver on your phone of it. I don't know, something. You know, put a. I don't know if you've gotten a ticket recently. Just put something on there just to remind you. You know,
Picture,
yeah, yeah,
picture of your mom and dad or something. You said you want to be just like your dad, right?
you know,
yeah, absolutely.
For him, and be like, I'm never going to be able to have that military career if I keep
following
this
this
up.
career, following that path.
Some great advice, actually. I'm actually probably gonna do that as soon as I get off this call. Put
Nice.
something on there. Probably put my dad on there. That's a good idea.
I have my daily reminders. I see my kid every day, so that's when I see him smile and laugh and just come up to me and hug me and just play around and just have no worries in the world. I can flinch at him and he don't budge, you know. So
Yeah,
that's my daily reminder, you know. Like I said, I haven't touched alcohol in 3 years and I don't miss it one bit.
that's awesome, man.
You know,
I think it is the biggest thing. You think that, oh, well, I'll miss it. I won't be able to have any fun.
Do you genuinely have more fun now? Because it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to get past that perspective. Because like whatever reason, I have all these good memories tied to alcohol. You know?
yeah, you can. Like, I have just as much fun jumping on a motorcycle and just going riding
Mm,
as going out. And to me, alcohol is more of a social lubricant to get because of
yeah.
social
depression.
anxiety and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I've got my medicine pretty much dialed in from the VA now. So I don't. That's probably another thing. I don't feel the need for that anymore.
We have so much fun that we're creating a whole YouTube channel around it.
Uh,
The people
That's
in there,
awesome.
you know what I mean? To help them come to sobriety and change, turn their lives around. So
yeah, I never get that fear of missing out on something. Or
never worry about a DUI no more.
yeah,
You know,
being able to go and that's a crazy feeling in itself when you know like, hey, if I get pulled over, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about, oh man, I have one drink. Are they going to breathalyze me? Am I going to feel it? Like, they going to smell it on my breath?
another
You
thing
know you're golden.
is that for me, for a lot of reasons, I quit like even dipping and all that stuff was it had control over me. I didn't like that. You know,
Yeah.
every time I went somewhere, I had to like figure out if I need to take a spit bottle with me, if I could do this. Like if we go somewhere, like who's going to drive? You know, it's like you take control of your life. You know, once you don't let anything else control it. You know, so you can when you're saying like, do we have fun? It's like I can take my kid to the park, man, and just run around with them, and I'm not stuck at home hating my life trying to figure out when I can get a drink or something. You know, it's just so yeah, that's
You don't have to shit on your teeth or dip.
yeah,
Yeah.
all
It's,
kinds of different things. You know,
like, it's the same thing.
I
Yeah,
guess I got like another big question for y'all too.
do it
So I guess like your biggest vice was alcohol, right, Neil?
for me.
Yeah.
Well, mostly yeah, that and dipping.
And dipping.
And,
Well,
yeah,
I guess once you got off the alcohol, did you try to fill it with another bad habit? Like maybe the dipping took over or
yeah, yeah. I think the dipping was more of a problem for me. The nicotine, because I like when me and him worked together, we were on call 24/7, so I couldn't. And when we had a chance to get off call, oh, it was over with. I missed work the next day or two, you know, and it just all came out at once.
Hmm.
Um, I when me and my wife finally quit, it really when I finally me and my wife we did it at the same time. Like we split that truly and just said, you know, why are we even doing this? Like we don't even want to do this. We don't want to be these people, you know. It really started my journey almost down spiral, as I'll call it, because I'm sure if you really stay on this path, you'll see what I'm talking about. You start digging down in the dirt, you'll find stuff you don't want to see. You want to smother it some more, but then you can't because you know you're trying to quit. Um, it probably it wasn't that it got filled with other bad habits. It's my bad habits started coming out. My anger probably started coming out more because that's probably the main thing I've tried to cover up was my anger and just frustration with everything and just stuff like that. So I would be like real snappy at my wife, and I just all the things you wouldn't want to see would come out. And I think that's the
Okay.
big struggle is you got to realize when you're doing that stuff once you quit alcohol because you're gonna I don't know I don't know what's the word I can't ever think about it relapse or something withdrawal kind of thing. You're gonna just really get frustrated because you want to just numb it all out, but you can't. You're fighting it. It's a battle. So it's you got to figure out when you're gonna realize when you're doing that and like that's what therapy is good for. They teach you um, not coping mechanism, but practices to ground yourself and uh, just reevaluate the situation and don't act on certain things and just calm your mind and just things like that.
Yeah, it might show you, like you said earlier, you don't know what's the problem that's causing all this. That might come to light. It might be a little hard to face.
Yeah. Then it's going to be some
So
guilt tied to it probably because it happened to me. You're like, oh my god, I did that. You're just going to hate
yeah,
yourself and just want to just that's going to make you mad at yourself, which is going to make you want to drink, right?
Okay.
So it's just times like that where when you start noticing those things, you just write yourself a letter or something. I watched the John Deloney show. I've talked to him about him a lot. He's what got me into therapy because I just listened to his show and it was cool to just the way he talked to the people. It's like, oh, that ain't bad, you know. So what he was always saying was write yourself a letter, write your child self a letter. Write for you it'd be the version of you that got a DUI or the assisted DUI and ran from the cops. Like, hey, that was stupid, things like that. Like it's okay though. Like you made a mistake, you're gonna move on from it. Just stuff like that. So yeah, when you see that and you get the urge to drink and all that and numb it out, I'd say just write it down. Just break out a piece of paper or your voice recorder if you don't have paper at hand, and just say it, man. It's like, yep, I did this and I did that. It's okay. I messed up, made a mistake. I'm better than that and I deserve better. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna do it alone. We're here for you. James is here for you. You're running into other people down the road that'll be proud of you. Your dad will be proud of you, I'm sure. You
Yeah.
know, your commanding officer will probably be proud of you for sure. I'm tired of locking you down
Yeah.
and
Oh, they're getting tired of me. Trust me. They're
but
sick of hearing my name come up.
it's a journey, man. Just remember that. Don't expect daylight and daisies in the next morning. It's a rough ride. It's not going to be easy. I just want you to not go in there expecting it's just going to flip with a pillow and be all cool and all that.
Yeah.
some really, really lows. Because like you said, you gotta face all that stuff
All the
head on.
demons.
You can't side skirt it. You just gotta face it head on and work through it.
Oh, I'm ready to take that journey, man. I can't keep living like this, brother. So
That's awesome. Your
yeah,
your wife, your future kids, thank you, and your commanding officer, like we just said.
and I've been so blessed, man, because I've met so many great people. Like God's put all the right people in my life for me. Like
Yeah,
I'm having this conversation right now with you guys. Like God's put all these amazing people in my life, and I think it's finally getting through to me, and I'm ready to make that change.
nice. The way I look at it is, I've gone through my life story for a reason, and I think I'm getting to that point now, is being able to talk to guys like you and help steer you clear, and that way you can have a better life and enjoy it. Be present.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have this conversation with you guys tonight. I really needed this. Just thank you guys.